YouTube for tuning in to Auto Transport for Dummies, where we talk about all of the auto transport questions for all you dummies out there. So in this clip, we're actually going to be talking about what you as the consumer should be doing to facilitate the best experience for your transport. Basically, what is the customer duty? What are the things that I, as the person who's shipping my car, should be doing and be willing to do, and really just have a duty to do, okay? Because as the longer that we do this, the longer we set up transports and we're constantly doing this, it's like people tend to not have a lot of understanding as to like some of the obvious things that we think are obvious, but maybe they don't think are obvious. And so that's what I wanted to get into on this video. So number one is going to be, far and away, you have to know when your vehicle is going to be ready to be picked up. And this is really a big one and a continual issue with us because dealers specifically really cause issues holding cars up. And I think I touched on this in another video, but dealers will hold up the car, or a seller, so you buy a car in another state, a seller keeps dragging it out, saying the car's going to be ready, or saying this, saying that, and it's not going to be ready, and then it's not ready when we send a truck out there, okay? And then what happens is we have to like compensate this trucking company for going out to whatever location this car is at. And the customer, of course, doesn't like this because they don't feel like it's their fault, because the seller or their dealer or whoever basically just didn't have the car ready to go. And it's like, okay, well, whose fault is it, right? So you've got to do your due diligence to know when that vehicle is going to be ready to go. Okay, that's kind of like part of your homework. Okay, number two is going to be, we have to know the condition of this vehicle, okay? Many times when old cars get transported, or antique cars, or classic cars, or restoration projects, whatever, these sellers will basically tell these buyers the car is in this condition or in that condition, or it's perfectly run and drive, it's perfectly ready to go. And then what happens is the transporter shows up, the car doesn't run, it's leaking oil, it won't start, it's got to be jump started, there might be an issue with the engine, issue with the transmission, and guess what? One of many things could happen, okay? The person on the buy-in end will end up blaming the transporter, even though it was like clearly like that when the car was picked up. That happens. Or the transporter simply can't load the car because it's not in the condition that it was described to be in. So maybe it won't run, maybe it won't start. Like I know with my buddy who has a 6-car enclosed, they just tried to move this car that, I mean, the thing was like catching on fire, them trying to just start the engine. And of course the buyer's like blaming them. Like how is that the transport? Like they didn't even touch the engine, okay? So you have a duty to know what the condition of your purchase, what your car, whatever this car is, that's your duty to know what condition it's in. Okay, the transporter's job is not to inspect the engine, to inspect the mechanical integrity. That is not their job, okay? And if it's not in the condition you tell us it's in, really you should be compensating us for wasting our time sending the wrong truck out to come pick up this vehicle that you said is perfectly run and drive when it's missing axles, missing wheels, won't start, won't fire up, has to be jumped. Okay, these cars have to be moved around on a trailer, and dealers, auctions, sellers bullshit like a mother on the condition of these vehicles, okay? So if you need to hire a third-party inspector or whatever you got to do, we got to know what that condition is so we can send out the right truck, okay? Because not every truck can load an inoperable vehicle, or not every truck wants to move a car that has to be jump started and has to have, you know, carburetor spray sprayed in every time just to get the thing fired up. So we have to know that. So that is your duty, to know the condition of your vehicle. That's not our job. That is your job. And then once we have that info, we can then dispatch the correct truck to pick up this vehicle. Number 3, we have got to know if you have any hard dates, okay? We got to know that up front. Don't come back to us after we set up your order and get pissed off because the car's not going to arrive on a specific day, okay? Because everything in this world is a projection. Everything is an estimate. There is no guaranteed dates. There's no guaranteed prices. So if you've got a specific price or a specific deadline or some kind of hard date, we have to know that 100%. You can't just put in your dates and then be like, okay, that's what I'm hoping for. It's okay. No. We got to know exactly if there is some kind of hard date that you are like trying to get this moved by, no exceptions. And then of course, yes, the price will probably be different as well because you're requesting a more stringent demand. Okay, so you can't just put in a date range as if like it's any other transport, okay? And many times people put in these dates like on airride.com or Midwest Exotic, and it's like we don't even know until we're halfway into it that, oh, they have a flight on this day, or oh, they're selling the house on this day, or oh, you know, my grandpa is whatever. Okay, we got to know what your date, like if you have any kind of hard deadlines. If you don't have hard deadlines, it's gonna, and you're more flexible, that's when you tend to get better pricing. But again, it's your duty to inform us if you have some kind of a hard date, and yes, you will typically pay more for that. Okay, and then finally, the last one on this list, okay, is just going to be availability. You have to be available to have your vehicle delivered, okay? This is not the type of white glove service where you just get to select a 2-hour window on a particular day. No, okay? If that's what you want, then just don't ship your car, because honestly, you could pay Reliable or some other high-end company a ton of money and they still won't end up meeting that demand for you, because there are so many variables that I've discussed in so many videos. They're just not going to know when they're going to be there until often just hours out, okay? So basically, you just have to be available when the truck arrives. They will give you a projection, and you've got to be available and willing to accept the vehicle. I'm sorry, that's just the price of shipping a car. It doesn't happen on your schedule. It just doesn't. Even if you pay a lot of money, like I just mentioned, I'm telling you right now, they're still probably not going to end up getting there when you want it to get there. So if you can't handle that reality, you just should forget shipping your car, because there is a extremely high chance you're going to be upset with the process. So anyway, that's probably my top 4 recommendations for how to navigate your side of it in the auto transport process. That probably should alleviate a lot of the issues, at least on the customer side, where people just get blindsided. They're just surprised by this, or surprised that a truck shows up early, or surprised that the car's not ready to go. You just have to do a little due diligence, know a little bit about the process, and then it will just go so much smoother. So with that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Happy hauling.